Hi everybody, it's Lace. I'm getting ready to have an event in a couple weeks here, Battle of the Bands. That'll take place in Siren Song Bayou. For it, the theme or the idea behind it was to have groups of musicians playing with, their solid gold dancers. One of the things that a lot of people don't know how to do is how to take a song and break it up into four pieces. There's many different ways to do it. What I'm going to cover is taking a Midi file and then converting it into four separate pieces, four separate MML files. Um, and I'm just going to go through that. I'm using the 3ML editor, which will take a Midi file and convert it to MML. Some people like Maestro. I think it converts to ABC. The game will play either .abc files or .mml files at this time. So let's just start off right now. We've got Aqualung by Jethro Tull loaded in there. It's got a pretty recognizable beginning for most people that are probably over the age of 20, maybe age of 35. I don't know, somewhere in there. But this is the basic song, and I just opened it up and loaded it in as a MIDI file, and this is what it sounds like. It's just using a loop for everything. So you should get an idea of that's the song, Jethro Tull, Aqualung. When we look at this, we see we have all these tracks 1 to 10. Track 1 I've already identified as it's just an information track, and we won't be using it. When I'm going through these tracks and trying to group them by instrument, I'm doing this all by ear. I'm no musician. I have some drum kit and a few guitars, but I can't read music. I can't write music. I can't tell you what these notes on here. I don't know what the difference is between a C, a B, or D. I remember that was it. Every Good Boy Does Fine or something from music class, like in fourth grade, but that's about all I recall. And I think the other one's FACE or something. But yeah, I don't know high, sharp, flat. I don't know any of that when looking at this language. What I do know is what I can hear. So if you don't have a musical background and you see all this stuff on the screen, you're like, oh my God, what is that? Don't worry. It's all about the ear, really. So I've identified tracks 2 through 10 are what I'm going to want out of this. And when I'm doing this, I make myself a cheat sheet of what track I'm going to assign to what instrument. And again, this is all by ear. Some of the master composers and stuff out there and arrangers may have different ways, but this is my way. When I looked at this song, Aqualung, I saw a definite drum track, at least in my head. I saw a couple tracks as flute. I saw some as lute, which I'm assigning to a clean electric guitar for the purposes of the demo, which we'll go over that in a minute. And I saw some others as kind of a harp kind of sound. And I wanted to use as many instruments as I could in this to break it down. When you're exporting files in 3ML or 3ML editor, you can basically only take 3 tracks and merge it into one. So I try to keep what are my 3 most important tracks from this MIDI file? You're going to be tossing stuff. You can remove them. I think it's like right click, remove track. I'm not removing anything right now because this is just the base piece that I wanted to use for the demo. This breakdown that I have here on my little cheat sheet, I actually put in a separate instance of this same program where I've assigned those tracks to the instruments. So track 3 was our drums. Right now it's assigned to timpani. And this is just a list of the different instruments you can assign them to. What I try to do is try to pick a sound that's as close to the in-game instrument as it is. So drums, timpani, that's pretty close. Track 2 is assigned to a flute. And if we look back at our cheat sheet, we'll see that we assigned track 2, 8, and 9 to flute. Again, you might want to move track 8 to the harp and track 6 to the piano, but that's where the arranging comes in, and that's all by ear. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that because that's a personal preference for the most part, and you can get a wildly different sounding song of this same song by assigning different instruments. So track 2, okay, flute, and we've kind of looked at the other list. All these are assigned exactly how I have them on the sheet. Let's just give a quick listen. Drums. Some people might like guitar on that. our lutes coming in and our harp. Actually, I think the harp comes in later. So anyway, the beginning part sounds kind of resembles possibly close to the radio airplay. Again, by assigning different tracks at different things, you can actually reinvent a song. But this was just to show that you can get it kind of close, and you're going to want to use the assignment button per track. When I'm going through this, I usually turn all the tracks off, and I turn one on. I, go to the beginning of the song, and then I play it, and I listen, and I'm like, okay. And then I might look at the up down of the colors, and I look, oh, look, track 2, what's going on there? Okay, track 3's playing the simultaneous. Track 4's got jumping up and down. To me, that looked like finger picking on a guitar, and I think that's why I assigned that one to the lute. Track 5's got some stuff going on. I think I assigned that to the lute for now, but it might even go in with the flute some. Again, it's just your ear when you're listening to these tracks by turning them. Oh, we had track 5 turned off on that. Oops. Oh, we had track 6 turned off on that. Oh man, what happened? Hold on here. We had a bunch of tracks turned off. That probably didn't sound exactly right. Let's just re-hit them real quick. And what I'm doing now is I'm just making sure they're not muted. Yeah, it might sound a little different here. It's still our so by hitting that global, I can see everything that's playing right now, all my instruments. Okay, enough of that. So I've kind of shown that you're going to have to use your ears and just mess around with grouping tracks together to come up with your little cheat sheet of what goes together. Once you've realized or arranged, I guess is maybe the right word, what tracks are going to go together, you'll say, okay, track 2, 8, and 9. So I'm going to go back to my editor, and I'm going to say File, and I'm going to say Export MML to Clipboard. And that was 2, 5, and 9, right? 2, we don't need 3, we don't need 1, we need 5, and we need 9. And that was for flute. Okay. So we've got 2, 5, and 9 selected, and we're going to say copy MML. And I just typically use this default thing here. So now if I open up, I'm just going to open WordPad, but whatever you've got, whatever kind of, I don't have Notepad on this machine, but then I'm going to paste it in. So now this is tracks 2, 5, and 9 in MML format, which the game can read. So it's just plain document. I need to save it. I'm going to do File, Save As, and I've set up an Aqualung demo folder, and I can save this as, this was our flute. Can't spell Aqualung flute. Okay, and if I look in that folder, the file I just saved just now is .rtf because I used something that default. Name it to what you see here, Aqualung flute.mml. I would do the same thing for drums. I'd repeat this again for harp and lute, and I'd save 4 copies of this. I would send these 4 files to my 4 different player friends. They would probably then take it out to Aqualung and call the song probably something like Aqualung Band. Each one of them would have a copy that would say Aqualung Band, but they'd know that they have the flute, one person has the flute part, one person has the drums part, one person has the other part. And I believe the way it works is when you're all together in a band and you hit play and you're all playing this and you have a song called Aqualung in your directory, that it all plays together. Somebody may need to clarify that. The other thing is let's say if you just made a solo version of this, or you just wanted to hear just the drums only and you were just going to play that, you have to save this in your game folder. Where it's going to be saved in your game folder is going to be wherever you installed Shroud of the Avatar. So it's going to be program files for me, x86, Proletarium, Shroud of the avatar. And then I'm going to go into Shroud of the avatar data, again, just data by itself, and then into the song folder. And as you can see, I have a bunch of ABC files. Some are MMLs. I was doing ABC at the beginning, and I had a process, and I didn't write it down. I can't remember how I was doing it, but MML works as well. So that's where you need to save your files. Only ABC or MML are going to play. And in game, you just type play. So in this case, we had something here called Aqualung Flute. If that's what it was called in that directory, I'd do Aqualung Flute / play space. I hope this helped a little bit about breaking it out. It's really mainly going to go by your ear of how to group tracks. What my ear hears might be different than your ear. How I arrange it might be different than how you arrange it. And expect to spend time on this and just getting lost trying to get that perfect sound with the perfect instrument. But just don't concentrate too many on these instruments. Only think about, we have flute, we have lute, we have drum, we have harp, and we have piano right now. I know there's a mention of possible other instruments coming in later things. Things also like being able to move while you're holding an instrument. Things like that. Anyway, I hope this helped a little bit. Again, other people use other tools. Maybe they'll make some videos. This is what I've been using this iteration, because I can't remember how I was doing the ABCs, but there you go. Take care, happy hunting, and be safe.